Can all of us say with our hand on our heart that we are an inclusive profession? What are the significant obstacles which persons from marginalized backgrounds face when they enter the legal profession? Third, what steps should we adopt to provide diversity in the Indian judiciary? What kind of mentorship has enabled those who have succeeded to succeed? And I'm always asked, why are there not more women in the Indian judiciary? Can all of us say with our hand on our heart that we are an inclusive profession? Or is our profession essentially based on networks? How are young lawyers admitted into chambers? Is there a level playing field for people who come from marginalized backgrounds who are extraordinarily talented but just require a little bit of mentorship? Have we created a legal profession which is truly inclusive? Second, what are the significant obstacles which persons from marginalized backgrounds face when they enter the legal profession? Because these are duties which are cast on all of us, whether we are lawyers, as judges, to ensure that we confront these serious problems. Third, what steps should we adopt to provide diversity in the Indian judiciary? And fourth, what kind of mentorship has enabled those who have succeeded to succeed? We shouldn't just look at it from the negative perspective of what are the obstacles. Obviously, there are people who are succeeding and who have succeeded. Why have they succeeded? Who are the people who mentored them? What are the conditions in which they were able to overcome their conditions of discrimination or prejudice? So I do believe that what we will do now, after we conclude this particular session, is to have a series of engagements, not just on the Bahujan Samaj, but on the broader aspect of marginalization and its interface with the Indian judiciary. And how do we really ensure, what is it that we have to do? Somebody has to take those steps. I'm always asked, wherever I go now, and I've been engaging a lot in public consultations and public engagements, and I'm always asked, why are there not more women in the Indian judiciary? Why is it that you have only so many percent? And we'll see that in the next session as the figures come before you. Why is it that we have only so few women judges in the high courts? Why is it that we have so few women judges in the Supreme Court? There's something which I was in fact in conversation with the President last night. And I always explain to people that, well, in the Supreme Court, we draw upon a pool of available talent, where unlike, say, the American Supreme Court, where you can pick up almost anybody. You can make a senator a judge of the American Supreme Court. We can't make a senator merely because she's a senator a judge of the Supreme Court. You have to have a certain legal background. You have to have a certain degree of attainment in the legal profession. So we have to draw from the available pool. But how do we ensure that the available pool increases in the next 10 years or 15 years? Unless we take those steps now, as we will shortly see, in the presentations, and I was actually here the whole day yesterday trying to look at the presentations, you will see that when it comes to the district judiciary, in several states in India, over 80% of the fresh recruits are women. 60% of the fresh recruits are women. 70% of the fresh recruits are women. That's an indicator to you of what is happening on the ground at the lowest levels. That is to say, if you're given an even platform, of opportunity to people and treat them as individuals who will be able to succeed without all the trappings which our legal profession gives them or disadvantages them with, they're entitled to and will demonstrably succeed. Now, how do we create those conditions in the legal profession, the mainstream of the legal profession? Is there no obligation on lawyers? We have the lawyers here today with us. And the president of the chairperson of the Bar Council of India is here, President SCBA is here, Secretary of SCBA is here. So many lawyers are part of this session. In fact, the Dalit lawyers in the Supreme Court came to me the other day and said that putting up this statue is an act of enormous support for our community, because it highlights the fact that we are not really behind the scenes, but we are a vital force in the decision-making process of the Indian judiciary. These are some of the things which I thought I would highlight. In the US Supreme Court, I wanted to focus on one particular aspect. Just this summer, the American Supreme Court dealt with a case called Admissions, Committee for Admissions to Harvard. And they sought to challenge the use of race as one of the criteria in affirmative action programs. The American Supreme Court, speaking through Chief Justice John Roberts, held that the color of your skin or your race should have nothing to do with your right to seek admission. And they've outlawed completely the use of race as even a factor in admissions. They never had quotas, but they would use race as one factor in admission decisions. Even that has been outlawed in the United States. Look how far and how progressive our law has been. We regard equality not merely as equality in a formal sense, but we regard equality in a more substantive sense. And therefore we believe, along really the legacy that Dr. Ambedkar has conferred upon us, that if you have to bring about true equality in society, you must factor in all those factors which lead to the loss of a level playing field.
From breaking news, detailed analysis, in-depth interviews and explainers, follow the Times of India. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like our videos and hit the bell icon to stay updated with the latest.